Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks, ranging from bestsellers to celebrity memoirs, news, business, and self-development. Every month, members get 1 credit to pick any title, plus 2 Audible originals from a monthly selection, and access to daily news digests from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post, as well as guided meditation programs. Between a full-time job in IT and a full-time job in podcasting, it gets harder and harder to sit down and read the books I'm interested in. This is where Audible comes in. I can listen on my daily commute, relaxing, or while out running errands and still get in the books I've been wanting to get into. You can download titles and listen offline anytime, anywhere. The app is free and can be installed on all smartphones and tablets. Now you can try Audible risk-free with a special 30-day free trial by visiting audibletrial.com/nerdery and murdery. That's audibletrial.com/nerdery and murdery. Don't let your busy life get in the way of that great book you've been wanting to read. Go get your free trial of Audible today. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. This is Jeffrey, and we've talked about many times before that I experience problems and struggles with my mental health, and really without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace is hard. The good news is therapy does work. It's helped for me, but what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships at work, or you're not dealing well with stress. Whatever you need, it's really time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles, and it's time to start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. And there's a special offer to Nerdery and Murdery listeners. You can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/nerdery and murdery. That's betterhelp.com/nerdery and murdery. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.
If a woman was a fire, she'd burn out before I wake and be replaced by pints of whiskey, cigarettes, and outer space. Then somebody moves and everything you thought you had was gone to shit. Well, we've got a lot. Don't you ever forget that.
Whatever. Welcome to episode 139 of Nerdery and Murdery.
Big 139. I'm Zig with your nerdery.
And I'm Jeffrey with your murdery. Welcome to another week's The Highs and Lows, the Ups, the Downs, the Good and the Bad, and the Nerd and the Murd. I had two things for this week, and sometimes maybe we give too much insight into us and everything, but fun stuff because I'm at that age. I get to have a colonoscopy this week.
Yay!
Yeah. I actually had it scheduled before COVID hit, and then COVID hit, and they canceled all they considered this an elective procedure, and it got canceled, and I've just never gone back to it. I saw my doctor last week, and she said, yeah, you need to get one. I went and saw this doctor here, and I was really shocked because I went in on Thursday, I guess it was. And they said, yeah, we can get you in on Wednesday. What?
Oh, wow.
So quick. So,
well, not many people are lining up for that sort of thing, sir.
No. I mean, I've heard the procedure is the easy part. It's the prep up to it, which is supposed to be pretty.
Where you have to take potassium citrate and crap your brains out.
Yeah, whatever it is. So I get to have my last full meal on Monday morning, and then nothing but liquids until after the procedure on Wednesday. So.
Okay, good deal. when you take that potassium citrate, because I used to do that about once a year just to kind of clean myself out.
Okay.
Um, yeah, no, it's great. It feels wonderful afterwards.
Well,
Take a book, make sure you've got plenty of toilet paper,
fun.
cranberry juice.
You can't do cranberry juice. Can't do anything red.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
nothing.
plenty of
Nothing red.
juice.
You can have juice, just nothing red. All has to be clear fluids. So I get to eat broth and
Yeah,
everything like that. So I'm gonna have me a big breakfast on Monday morning.
I think you should. Bacon, eggs.
Something. I don't know. The other thing, I posted this on Facebook, and I was going to tell it to our listeners here because it's funny to me. Those that understand golf and how frustrating a game it can be. Uh, I was golfing by myself earlier this week, and um, I was on hole 5, and I hit a really good drive, but I hit into the trees and was kind of buried in there, and took out my 3-wood and knocked just a solid shot, but then it hit a tree and bounced over to the ninth green or ninth fairway. Then I got on over onto 9 so I could get back over to 5.
Hmm.
Hit a 3-wood again, real good shot, but I hit a tree and bounced over 10.
Oh wow.
So yeah, two fairways over, had to get back. So it was kind of funny.
Okay, wait. Do you have to count that when you get to 9?
No,
Okay, all
no,
right. Well, there you go.
that
It
all
only
counts
counted
for
on
5.
5.
No, once you sink the ball into the cup, your score's over for that hole. So when you start, and you don't start counting again until you drive on that particular hole. So anyway, it was just funny to me. Funny stuff. So you got anything before we get into it?
Yeah, and me and the kiddos went roller skating this last weekend. That
Saw
was
that.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
saw
it
that.
was awesome. I got up and got out for about an hour and a half,
Hmm.
all told, with breaks in between. So yeah, my legs are getting stronger now.
Cool.
Still can't remember how to backward skate. I think the last time I backward skated was at your birthday party 20 years ago. Was that 20 years ago? Oh
At
my God.
least,
Yeah.
yeah. I I can still do it. I'm pretty sure I can still do it. It's almost like riding a bike. I think getting back
Yeah.
on roller skates, it hurts more when you're older. It hurts the
Yeah.
ankles and the
Knees.
legs and the
Yeah.
knees and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The inner calves, the inner knees, the inner thighs. It's just painful. Let's get exercise. And I didn't
Yeah.
fall. So
Well, that's good.
yeah.
It hurts much more to fall at our age.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It's funny, years ago when I didn't live in Fort Worth, and I used to visit my Mima, she would take us down to the Tandy to the ice skating rink, and one of the things she always said is, well, if you fall while you're ice skating, you already got ice on it. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
so anyway, so with that, I'll let you take over on the nerdery side of the house.
Excellent. Today for Ep 139, we're doing 10 more indie songs for your playlist. And when I say indie, 6 of these bands have not been signed yet.
Okay.
The first one is Ghost Daughter. Ghost Daughter, or Naomi, is a musician just breaking out. This They made a cover of the song, and it's getting a lot of hits. As a matter of fact, when you pull up the song, and the song is Broad Ripple is Burning. They actually come up first. So it's Ghost Daughter, Broad Ripple is Burning. They've been doing mostly coffee house dates in Asheville, North Carolina. The original song is by Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos. It's off the band's first full album, The Dust of Retreat. It was released in 2005 through Standard Recording Company. It was remastered and re-released in March 26, 2006 by Artemis Records. Style was described by Mackenzie Wilson as cinematic chamber pop that both the casual music fan and music perfectionists will enjoy. I will say this. I went out and heard the original Broad Ripple is Burning. It's not as good as Ghost Daughters. Ghost Daughter's version of this song is haunting. Haunting. What did you think about Broad Ripple is Blue?
I thought it was kind of alt country.
Yes.
Um, I thought the song was okay, not great. I didn't really like the singer. I kind of found him whiny.
Uh-huh.
Um, I felt like they were trying to be the old 97s.
Okay.
Um, but you confused me by having another band listed for this song by Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos.
That's
And
the
so,
original recording artist of the band.
okay,
Is
so I
Mark.
wasn't
Yeah.
really sure who I was supposed to listen to. It really kind of sounded the same from both groups, though.
Yeah.
Um,
See, yeah, I prefer that a Ghost Daughter version of it way more. But
I just found the singer whiny. This was not my jam.
not your jam at all.
No, not this
Okay.
one.
This one's gone into several playlists for me. Oh, speaking of playlists, I have been making Spotify playlists now for all of our music episodes. This will be one of them. I've just about gone back and done all of them. So if you guys want to go out and listen to these songs and hear the episode, you can do that on Spotify now. So
Cool.
yeah. Um, in most cases, some of these indie songs are hard to get, like the episode 98, 99. A lot of those songs aren't on Spotify. You still have to hit YouTube for them. But I made a playlist of what I could find and different things. I just kind of put those together. The next song is Achy Bones by Ash the Ghost. This was released about a year ago. It's getting a lot of play on Spotify. Ashley Hartley, who is Ash the Ghost, hails from Buffalo, New York. Started recording with another person during the pandemic, Capo, as Star Theory. There is a Star Theory song in this list as well. But Achy Bones is getting a lot of play. There's about 1 million hits on it right now. On different platforms. It seems to be getting really, really a lot of play. And I want to say that Ashley Hartley was really inspired by the Smiths on this song. I mean, they're kind of even on the cover of the single. Homegirl's wearing a Smith shirt with a cast on her arm because it's called Achy Bones. But the music is not Smithish. Smithish, is that right? Does that sound good?
Smithy?
Uh, Smithy, yes, it's not Smithy, but the lyrics kind of are. The music is something altogether different. I really really loving this. What did you think about Achy Bones by Ash the Ghost?
Thought it was catchy music, but just kind of so-so for me again. And it was another song that I thought was okay, but not great.
Okay, but not great.
Now this was one I wouldn't add to my playlist. It was kind of catchy, but
Kind of catchy,
yeah,
little poppy, little yeah.
a little bit.
The next one is She Likes Girls by Dexter and the Moon Rocks. Dexter and the Moon Rocks from Abilene, Texas. They've carved out a unique niche in music scene with their innovative blend of Southern alternative red dirt country and alternative rock, creating a genre that fans affectionately call Western space grunge. And I think the word fits. The band consists of lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist James Tufts, lead guitarist and vocal harmonizer Ryan Anderson, bassist Ty Anderson, and drummer and vocal harmonizer Fox. They combine influences from a wide range of artists, including the Foo Fighters, Pink Floyd, Rainbow Kitten, Surprise, and Whiskey Myers, to produce a sound that is both earth-shattering and introspective. I got turned on to these by another one of the Lost Boys, Ethan McKay. Was like, oh, you got to listen to Dexter and the Moonrocks. You're gonna love them. They're called Western Space Grunge. And what's amazing is these guys released this song a couple of years ago. 1 year ago today, they were all working regular jobs. One was in school. One was working at uh, a storage rental place. One was working at a gas station, and another one was pouring concrete. 1 year ago today, but now they're working as full-time musicians. I love these guys. They've released quite a bit in the last 4 or 5 years, and they're just incredible. What did you think about She Likes Girls by Dexter and the Moonrocks?
Um, no, not it's just no. I didn't like the singer. This was another one. They were very whiny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the instruments in it were just kind of okay.
Okay.
I guess space grunge is not going to be something for me.
Western space grunge.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't like whiny singers. I really don't. Um, and so this one just I just couldn't stay with this one.
Okay. The next one is actually an older song. This one's not new, but I've been wanting to put this in a list for a while. It is Joy by the Lightning Seeds. The Lightning Seeds are an English rock band formed in Liverpool in 1989 by Ian Brody, formerly in the bands Big in Japan, Care, and Original Mirrors. It was originally a studio-based solo project for Brody, but the Lightning Seeds expanded into a touring band following Jollification in 1994. The group experienced commercial success throughout the 90s and were known for their single Three Lions, um, which reached number one in the UK in 96. 2018, with a reworked version of it, also reached a top spot in 1998. This is their debut album. So basically, this was just Ian Brody by himself. It was called Cloud of Cuckoo Land. It was released in 1990. Pure was the band's first hit in the UK and their only top 40 entry in the United States. They also released Joy as a single in the UK, but they didn't release it over here, but it did play on the indie stations. This is one of those tunes I've been listening to for years, and I'm like, I'm surprised most people don't know this. Um, but it's just one of those that kind of slipped away. I kind of wanted to include it in this. What did you think about Joy by the Lightning Seeds?
I like the opening of this one quite a bit. Overall, I thought it was a pretty decent song. I didn't think it was great, but it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed listening to this one.
Yeah.
This was a good pick.
Yeah, it's kind of got a almost like a Cocteau Twins kind of feel to it. It's just
Yeah,
ethereal and nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I really do like Joy. It's one of those ones that I've been listening to it for years. It's just like, oh, don't people more people don't know this song. They know some of the others. Um, Slowing Down by Scarlet House is the next song. This is an emerging art rocker. Uh, they're impressive with a moody single called Over. I actually prefer Slowing Down. It's about a year and a half old. Over is brand new. I think it came out like this week. Um, Scarlet House is from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a one-man band pulling inspiration across every genre to form a new lane in the scene of alternative rock. He manages to create his own unique sound while drawing inspiration from alt rock and shoegazing from the 90s and the 2000s. Showcases his heart on the sleeve songwriting and ethereal vocals. Sorry, this is a quote, which complement each other to elevate quality of the song. Over is a song about unrequited love. It explores the length a person will go to fit a mold someone has designed. Slowing Down was released in January of 2023. Again, I prefer Slowing Down to Over. Over also is great. I've been using a lot of Scarlet House's stuff in our TikToks recently, just because I like the feel of it. It's good background music. I actually like the songs too. What do you think about Scarlet House?
This is a good song. The more the song went on, the better I liked it.
Uh-huh.
Really, really nice instruments and the singer. Overall, really, really good. This was a good choice. I like this song.
Yes. Yes. I like Scar. You should listen to more Scarlet House because it's got that kind of, I don't want to say, well, okay, it does. It has a New Order feel to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But his vocals are better because Bernard Sumner's not a great singer and never has been. That's okay because it fits with New Order. But it's like if New Order had a really great singer, they'd sound like Scarlet
I
House.
never had any problem with New Order.
You know, like
I like New Order a lot.
oh, I love New Order. I just don't think Bernard Sumner's not just not a very strong singer.
Hmm.
It's good. It's just if they had a better singer, I think they would sound like this. He's a great guitarist and a keyboardist. The next one is Flickering Wall by Ian McCullough. It was also released in 1990. We were talking a few weeks ago about Echo and the Bunnymen. This is the first thing he did after that Echo and the Bunnymen record. McCullough released this album, Candleland, which reflects a more mature outlook on the world owing to a recent death of McCullough's father and Peter DeFrida's from Echo and the Bunnymen. It peaked at number 18 on the UK album charts and yielded two modern rock tracks with Proud to Fall and Faith and Healing. Flickering Wall was an album track, but for some reason it kind of took the the indie scene in DFW by storm, and it played a lot on our indie record playlist. And not just like The Edge, it also played on like KTCU and KUNT and some of the other stuff. Um, but it was released in September of 1989 um, to generally favorable reviews. But the other songs are okay. Flickering Wall is my favorite on this album. I think it's great. Um, what did you think about Flickering Wall?
I thought this sounded like any number of alt rock bands from alt rock music from the 80s. I didn't think there was anything really original here.
Mhm.
And honestly, go back to Echo and the Bunnymen.
What he did.
Yeah, he's way better with Echo and the Bunnymen. I just didn't find anything original here.
Okay. Not bad, just not good.
No.
No. The next song in the list is Too Late by Star Theory. Again, Star Theory is a band started by Capo and Ash the Ghost. They're roommates in Buffalo, New York. This song was released in mid 2023, so this song's only about 6 months old. It's Star Theory. Star Theory is not as big as Ash the Ghost is right now, but I kind of love this song. It's got a lot more rock to it than some of the other Ash the Ghost stuff, and you still get to hear her vocals, which I really, really like. So what did you think about Star Theory?
This one was probably my favorite of the list so far. I like the music a lot and really like the singer. This is a good one. This was playlist for sure. This is another good choice.
Star Theory. You should check out some more Star Theory.
I like this
and again, it's that Ash the Ghost girl from earlier in the list with her roommate Capo, and I couldn't get a whole lot of information on Capo.
And that's interesting because I didn't find this one to be whiny.
Yeah, but same singer.
Interesting.
This song right now on Spotify has less than 1,000 hits on it. And I don't know why, because this song should be on indie radio right now. You know what I mean? This has indie radio written all over it. And I don't know why they're not playing it. So, but you guys can go out to our Spotify and find Nerdery and Murdery Ep 139 and hear it in a list and the episode if you guys want to. So, yeah. The next song in the list is Downtown Train by Tom Waits. I could not remember if we've covered this song before. And if we haven't, shame on me.
We haven't.
Downtown Train is a song by Tom Waits released on his album Rain Dogs in 1985. The promo video for the song was directed by Jean-Baptiste Modino and featured boxer Jake LaMotte. Rain Dogs is the 9th studio album by American singer-songwriter Tom Waits, released in September of 85 on Island Records, a loose concept album about the urban dispossessed of New York City. Rain Dogs is generally considered the middle album of a trilogy that includes Swordfish Trombones and Frank's Wild Years. This song was covered by Rod Stewart in the late 80s. That it got a lot of play, but in comparison, oh my God, this song's a torch song by Tom Waits. It's beautiful, and the Rod Stewart version just isn't that good. Like the lyrics are still good because he doesn't change anything, but it's more of a pop song, and I just don't care for it, which is weird because I always thought the lyrics are great, and it was years before I realized this originally was a Tom Waits dude. What did you think about Downtown Train by Tom Waits?
Sounds like Trey Parker is singing this song from South Park.
No, it's Tom Waits.
Seriously, I didn't like this one at all. Seriously, is this Trey Parker? Is this a South Park song?
No, it is Tom Waits. Tom Waits.
I couldn't get over it. As I'm listening through it, I'm like, my God, he
sounds like Downtown Train.
Go listen to it again and think about Trey Parker while you listen to it.
Okay.
Because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, okay, a little bit. I think Trey Parker was trying. That was K3. Yeah. Thanks. I got bunny ears. No, I think Trey Parker, when he's singing, he's trying to sound like Tom Waits.
Maybe.
When he's singing in that voice, I think he's trying to sound like. Okay, yeah, I could see it.
Uh-huh.
But But I think it's the other way around.
Listeners, go listen to a South Park song sung by Trey Parker, and then go listen to this song. You're going to think it's Trey Parker singing.
It is not. It is Tom Waits, and I love this. But again, there is a version by Rod Stewart. It's a pop version. The lyrics are okay, but he just kind of killed the song, in my opinion. Let's see. The last song is "Static"
No,
by
you got
Still
one. You got one before that. Blue Moon Revisited.
Blue Moon Revisited.
Mm-hmm.
Did I screw up my notes? Oh, I sure did screw up my notes. Oh, that's right. Okay. Yes, Blue Moon Revisited by Cowboy Junkies. We haven't talked about this one either, have we?
Nope. Nope.
Okay. This is one of the ones that's been in my playlist for a long time. Cowboy Junkies are an alternative country band and folk rock band formed in Toronto, Ontario in 1985 by Alan Anton, Michael Timmins, Peter Timmins, and Margot Timmins. The three Timmins are siblings, and Anton worked with Michael Timmins during their first couple of bands. John Timmins was a member of the band, but left the group before the recording of their debut studio album. The band lineup has never changed since, although they use several guest musicians for many of their studio albums, including multi-instrumentalist Jeff Bird, who has performed on every album except the first. Now, the Trinity Sessions is the second studio album by Cowboy Junkies. It was released in 1988 by Leighton Records in Canada and re-released worldwide later that year on RCA Records. Working on a Building and Blue Moon Revisited song for Elvis do not appear on the Leighton record release. Blue Moon Revisited was originally released on It Came From Canada Volume 4, a compilation of Canadian independent bands. Cowboy Junkies. So they were not real big until they released this Trinity Sessions recording, which is all covers. This is an old standard tune that when Margot Timmins was a kid, she heard a version that Elvis sang. Elvis sang a version of Blue Moon, which is haunting. So that's what she wanted to do. The thing about Margot Timmins, when she first started with the band, they convinced her to be in the band, but she was always nervous to sing. So they had her kind of whisper sing, and they turned the mic all the way up. So on the Trinity recordings, when you hear her singing, she's barely making any noise. But it's haunting. I love Cowboy Junkies and the Trinity Sessions in particular. What did you think about Blue Moon Revisited?
This song was this was a meh for me. It sounded okay and all, but just I didn't find anything special about this song. I just not for me.
Not so much.
No.
Well, the big hit off that album was Sweet Jane. That's what everybody points to, but this one was always the one that kind of affected me. But again, it's real quiet. So it's a good backgrounder. The last song in our list is Static by Still Corners. Still Corners are a British-American dream pop band formed in 2007, consisting of songwriter-producer Greg Hughes and vocalist Tessa Murray. Their fifth, Murray met Hughes by chance at a train stop in London when the train was diverted to an alternative station. Alternative station. Murray was originally from England, and Hughes grew up in Arizona and Texas. They moved to England for a number of years to pursue life and music. Their fifth studio album, The Last Exit, again via Wrecking Light Records, was released on the 22nd. And I'm sorry, it was released in 2022. My notes are kind of funkified. So this song is just a year and a half old, but Static by Still Corners. Again, Still Corners, great band. I like Static. I don't like it as much as I do The Trip, but Static is a great song. What did you think about Static? Oh, wow. Clear the throat.
Fuck, I love Still Corners. Why couldn't this whole list just be them? Give me more Still Corners. Fuck, this song is good. I actually hate you. I actually hate you for not having more Still Corners in this list. I think, you know what? I'm just going to quit this episode and go listen to more Still Corners. That's what
I think you should listen to more Still Corners. And Star Theory. You should listen to Star Theory.
No, seriously, I hate you. I hate you with the fires of 1,000 hells. I hope you die in a fire from some weird disease.
Wow.
I love Still Corners. I love this song. I mean, The Trip is definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
But I've listened to so much Still Corners, and then this popped in. I was really happy to see
Yeah.
more of them.
Yeah. This song's right at a
Absolutely,
year, a little over a year old. So,
absolutely love this song. I do not understand why their name is not bigger than it is. They
yeah,
are a great group.
that's what this list was about. It's like, hey, there's a lot of bands in here that are really, really great, that more people need to listen to, like Still Corners, like Star Theory. And again, I would argue Dexter and the Moon Rocks, but you're not a fan of Western Space Grunts.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I like all of this stuff. This all every single song here is in heavy rotation in my Spotify.
Well, I think people need to get out there and spread the word on Still Corners because
Yeah,
they're amazing.
yes, we should evangelize for Still Corners. They are great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to see them in concert. I can't get enough. And after I got this list and went through all this, I went to back to the album with The Trip on it, and I just had
Mhm.
that playing over and over again during
Yeah,
my work
that's a
day, and it was
that's
just
that's a good
great.
album.
Yeah.
Love me some Still Corners.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that's about it for the nerdery side.
Cool.
Um, Thank you for going down that trip with me. And again, listeners, get out there and listen to some of this stuff.
No, and I
Um,
appreciate it. I think everybody should go out and take a listen to the list, see what you think about it. Give us your comments. Let
yep.
us know. Let us know if you agree with Zig, you agree with me, whichever. Listen to more Steel Corners.
Yeah,
That, that,
we
that's
both
what I
agree
take out
you
of that.
should listen to Steel Corners.
Yeah,
They're incredible.
yeah, yeah. I could do with entire lists of them, but go out and give this list a listen
Mm-hmm.
and let us know what you think.
Yep. You can hit it on YouTube and Spotify.
Awesome. All right, with that, we'll step over to the murdery side of the house.
Murder.
For today, I got my information off Medium, Wikipedia, Vocal, and all that's interesting. And this is the murder of Rebecca Schaeffer.
Rebecca Schaeffer.
Did you ever heard of this?
No.
I hadn't either, and I was surprised. And
Wait a minute.
you'll find out why.
Rebecca Schaeffer. Is this the My Sister Sam?
Yep.
Okay, I have heard about this.
Yep. That's exact. And I had never ever
Okay,
heard of
no,
this.
I have heard about this. It's just been a long time.
Yeah, it was
This is the reason we have stalking laws.
yes. I do talk about that. So Rebecca Lucille Schaeffer was born on November 6th, 1967 in Oregon, in the U.S., and was the only child to, it's either Dana or Dana, not sure, Dana Schaeffer, and a writer who's a writer, and Dr. Benson Schaeffer, who's a child psychologist. Her parents, whom she had been very close to, described her as a very intelligent child who could do anything she set her mind to. She learned things very quickly and achieved excellent grades at school. As a teen, Rebecca had attended Lincoln High School, which was a public school located in Portland. And here she proved to be extremely popular with her classmates without even trying. It was during her time here that she began to take an avid interest in drama and began considering her career as an actress, although she initially aspired to become a rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
When she was 14, Rebecca also began modeling. She appeared in department store catalogs and television commercials around Portland. In 1984, when she was 16, Rebecca's modeling agency, the Elite Model Management, sent her to work for the summer in New York City. But with her parents' permission, she decided to stay in the city to pursue her dreams. Despite her young age, her parents trusted her completely to make the move alone. Rebecca thrived in the big city and began and set to work immediately, attending auditions and trying to find acting work. And while in New York, Rebecca attended professional children's school. It wouldn't take long, and she landed her first television role on ABC's soap opera One Life to Live, and she'd stay on the show as a recurring character for 6 months. During this time, she also attempted to further her modeling prospects, but at 5'7" she was considered too short for high fashion modeling, and she struggled to find work. In 1985, she moved to Japan in the hopes of finding more modeling jobs, but still encountered difficulty due to her height and weight. And she returned to New York City and decided to focus entirely on an acting career. She did also work part-time as a waitress to support herself. In 1986, Rebecca won a small role in Woody Allen's comedy Radio Days, but her character was edited out except for one brief scene. It was in the mid-1980s where Rebecca would earn her big break, a popular role on popular primetime television series that ensured she had become a household name. She appeared on the cover of 17 magazine, and this had caught the eye of television show producers who were casting for the comedy My Sister Sam, as we talked about.
Pam Dauber.
Yep. After being contacted for an audition, Rebecca won the role of Patricia Patty Russell, a teenager who moves from Oregon to San Francisco to live with her 29-year-old sister Samantha, after the death of their parents. Rebecca was now 18, and with no set place to live without guidance, she ended up moving in with her co-star, Pam Dauber, during her work on the series, and the two became very close, and Pam acted as Rebecca's mentor. Despite her rising fame, this didn't go to the teenager's head, and she remained grounded and loved by all who came into contact with her. Rebecca was idolized by readers of 17 magazine and was featured on the cover of the March 1987 issue. My Sister Sam was initially a hit, ranking in the top 25, but it was canceled halfway through its second season in April of 1988 due to falling ratings. And this was mainly due to the fact that the show's time slot was moved to a Saturday at the same time as the hit show The Facts of Life.
Yep. Death.
But this was not before Rebecca would catch the eye of someone else. This time, however, the person did not have good intentions for Rebecca.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I totally mistaken. I thought this was going down while My Sister Sam was still on.
No.
Okay. All right. See, I have been wrong about that for 30 years.
Well, good. Glad I could give you some information.
Thank you.
And I take it back. The final incident was after the show, but it started during the show.
Yes.
Yes. So one day during the filming of My Sister Sam, Rebecca had been sitting in her trailer when the security guard alerted her to a man outside who had presents for her and claimed to know her. Rebecca had him sent away, and she didn't think anything more about it. After My Sister Sam ended, Rebecca continued to be in the spotlight. She appeared on TV Guide, which at the time was one of the most popular magazines in the U.S. It had 40 million readers weekly.
Yes, it did.
She also did work as a presenter and had supporting roles in further popular TV shows. When she was 19, she began a relationship with UCLA film student, 23-year-old Brad Sieberling. After meeting him on a blind date, Brad would later go on to become a very successful Hollywood director. The pair got very serious very quickly, and months later, they began to search for a home together. Rebecca was described by those close to her as wise beyond her years, but also naive in a sense, as she was very trusting. One day, while she had been answering fan mail and was excitedly telling a friend that her fans were telling how much they adored her, as well as confiding their problems to her, she told to her friend that she had been answering them back and had been conversing with them. Rebecca didn't want her relationship with her admirers to be one-sided and felt a responsibility to reach out to them as they had done to her, but she would never have imagined the danger it was posed. Over in Tucson, Arizona, a 19-year-old man had begun a fixation with Rebecca. This man would later become known as Robert John Bardo. Robert's life seemed to be going nowhere. He was a loner who worked in a fast food restaurant. He had no friends and no big ambitions in life. His childhood had been troubled, and he had a reputation of having threatened neighbors and schoolmates. He'd been picked on and abused growing up, and this had also contributed to his life as an outcast. Rebecca had first caught Robert's attention when he had seen her on My Sister Sam, and he later described that in the summer of '86, he had been watching TV when a commercial for the show came on, and this is when he'd first become enamored with Rebecca. He then went on to watch the show just to watch Rebecca. He noticed her bubbly, outgoing character and began to develop a fixation on her. He began to watch everything that she starred in and would even videotape all of her TV appearances. Eventually, Robert began to write letters to Rebecca, and much to his delight, he once got a response. Unbeknownst to Rebecca was that she had clearly made a deadly mistake. In her response to Robert, she had sent a signed photograph of herself and had made the comment, "Yours was the nicest I got," in reference to his letter. In Robert's twisted mind, this had confirmed to him that Rebecca reciprocated his feelings. The admiration he now held for the young starlet had now turned into a full-blown obsession, and now he decided he needed to meet her in person. Robert had been previously obsessed with child peace activist Samantha Smith before she had died in a plane crash in '85 at the age of 13. So in the summer of 1987, Robert boarded a plane to Burbank and took it to the Burbank airport and took a taxi to Warner Brothers studio where Rebecca had been filming My Sister Sam. He had flowers and teddy bears in his hand, and this is when he had first been turned away.
Okay, so wait. So at this point, she's 19. Is that right?
Yeah, I think she was 19 at the time. Yeah.
How old was he again?
19.
Oh, he was also 19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. All right. I was thinking he was older. Okay. I'm sorry. Please continue.
He was defeated at being told to go home by the guard, and Robert was frustrated but not willing to give up. Security Chief Jack Egger remembered Bardo pleading with him to let in. He said, quote, "I got to see her. I love her. If I could just see her for a minute." Egger felt bad for Bardo, who he saw as nothing more than a lovesick teen, and offered Bardo a ride back to the hotel where he was staying, and Bardo accepted. The two talked during the car ride, and Egger told Bardo it would be best for him to return to Tucson, and Bardo said he would. Robert Bardo, though, would return a second time about a month later. However, this time he'd been armed with a knife. After being turned away again, he became very angry. But despite this, the police were not called and no alarm bells went off for everybody. I'm not sure why. But after Robert left, nobody thought any more about the incident. Robert did return back to Tucson and diverted his attention to various pop singers like Tiffany, Debbie Gibson, and Madonna for over 2 years, briefly losing focus on Rebecca. But by 1989, Rebecca, who was now 21 years old, had moved into her own home located at 120 North Sweetser Avenue in LA, California. She lived on the second floor apartment inside the English Tudor house. And that same year, she had starred in the black comedy film Scenes from the Class Struggle in Beverly Hills, in which she appeared in bed with another actor. After watching the movie, Robert became enraged by the scene, apparently out of jealousy, and decided that Schaeffer should be punished for, quote, becoming another Hollywood whore.
Wow.
Picking up his old
Yeah,
habits.
I've seen that flick. It's pretty tame. I mean,
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's pretty tame.
Picking up his old habits, Robert once again fixated on Rebecca. Arthur Richard Jackson had stalked and stabbed actress Teresa Zaldana in 1982, and Robert learned that Jackson had used a private investigator to obtain Zaldana's address. So he paid a detective agency in Tucson $250 to find Rebecca's home address. He told the private investigators that Rebecca was an old friend of his and that they had corresponded in the past, but he needed to get her current address so he could send her a gift. And all they did was access the DMV to get this information.
Wow.
His brother also helped him purchase a Ruger GP100 357 handgun. The owner of the shop refused to sell him one when he found out about Robert's history of mental illness, but his brother had no idea what this is for. Robert had written in his personal diary, quote, "I have an obsession with the obtainable, and I have to destroy that I cannot obtain." So Robert once again made his way to Los Angeles a third time and roamed the neighborhood where Rebecca lived, asking people if she actually lived there. Shortly before Robert boarded a Greyhound bus headed for LA, he wrote a letter to his older sister in Knoxville, Tennessee. And in the letter he wrote, quote, "I have an obsession with the obtainable. I have to eliminate what I cannot obtain." He did not specifically mention Rebecca Schaeffer, however.
No.
On July 18th, 1989, once he was certain that the address was correct, he rang the doorbell to Rebecca's home. At the time, the actress was preparing for an audition for The Godfather Part 3 and was expecting a script to be delivered, so she excitedly answered the door. Unfortunately, at the time, her intercom wasn't working. Instead of being met with a courier delivering her script, however, Rebecca was confused to find Robert Bardo standing there with her letter and autograph that she had previously sent him. After a short conversation, she politely asked him not to come to her home again. Rebecca smiled sweetly and told him she needed to go to get ready for an appointment. She said to the man, quote, "Please take care," shook his hand and closed the door. Robert then went to a diner nearby and had breakfast, and he returned to Rebecca's apartment about an hour later. He realized he had forgotten about the compact disc and letter he had also brought for Rebecca, so he decided he would return to her apartment. Once again, she answered the door, but this time with a cold look on her face, and accused him of wasting her time. Robert would later state was the case. And incensed by this reaction, he pushed open the door, pulled out the handgun, and opened fire, shooting her in the chest at point-blank range in the doorway of her apartment building. According to Robert later, she fell and said only, quote, "Why?" Following the shooting, Robert ran away from the house and disappeared into a nearby alley. Rebecca was rushed to the emergency room of Cedars-Sinai Medical Center after neighbors heard the screams and found her lying unconscious in the hallway. But sadly, Rebecca was pronounced dead 30 minutes after her arrival. Robert returned to Tucson, and Tucson police arrested him the next day after motorists reported a man wandering aimlessly in traffic on Interstate 10, said he was running in and out of traffic, and he was yelling that he had killed Rebecca Schaeffer.
Well, that's a good way to find him.
Yeah. After he was picked up by the officers, he immediately confessed to the murder. And he was held on a $1 million bail. The Tucson police contacted the Los Angeles Police Department and told them that they were holding Robert John Bardo and faxed his photo over. The LAPD showed the photo to witnesses who had come forward saying that they had been approached by a man asking where Rebecca Schaeffer lived the morning she was murdered, and witnesses confirmed it was the same man in the photo. Discarded just blocks from Rebecca's apartment, LAPD found a yellow shirt, a gun holster, and a copy of The Catcher in the Rye, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. The LAPD also received a phone call from a Tennessee Highway Patrol officer. The officer informed them that Bardo's sister had gotten a phone call from her brother the morning of the shooting, and Robert had told her that he was just 1.5 blocks away from Rebecca's apartment at the time. While in jail waiting trial, Dr. Park Dietz, a forensic psychiatrist, interviewed Robert, and the young shooter told him, quote, "There was something very special about Rebecca. I just couldn't let go of her." Robert's attorneys conceded that he had murdered Rebecca, but they argued that he was mentally ill. Here's another interesting fact. Marcia Clark, later known for her role as the lead prosecutor in the O.J. Simpson case, was the prosecutor for this case. Clark argued that Bardo could not be simply insane, given that he had stalked Schaeffer for 2 years before going on to murder her. Robert was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. And again, he carried a paperback copy of The Catcher in the Rye when he murdered Rebecca, which he tossed on the roof of a building as he fled. He insisted that it was coincidental and he was not emulating Mark David Chapman, who also carried a copy of the novel with him when he shot and killed John Lennon on December 8, 1980.
Why are boomers so obsessed with that fucking book? It's not that good.
I know.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Right.
It's style over substance. That's what it is.
Yeah. Mark Chapman did. No worries. Mm-hmm. Mark Chapman did, however, later claim in interviews that he had received letters from Robert before the murder of Rebecca, in which Robert inquired about life in prison. No. After it came to light that a private investigator had obtained Rebecca's home address from the DMV, the Driver's Privacy Protection Act, which prevents the DMV from releasing private addresses, was enacted in 1994. And Rebecca's death was also used in the fight to pass some of the early anti-stalking laws in America, which we talked about.
Yes.
In 2007, Robert was stabbed 11 times on his way to breakfast in the maximum security unit. There were 2 shivs, which those who don't know are inmate-made weapons, were found on the scene, and he was treated at UC Davis Medical Center and then returned to prison. Rebecca Schaeffer was buried at Avai, I'm not sure, Ahavai, Shalom Cemetery in Portland, Oregon. There were over 200 mourners who attended the services, and condolences poured in from the many people whose lives were touched by Rebecca Schaeffer during her short time on Earth. Her death influenced Brad Sieberling's film, which was her boyfriend, if you remember, Moonlight Mile in 2002, about a man's grief after his fiance's murder.
Oh, I saw that flick. That's pretty good. Okay, no, it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. And shortly after Rebecca's death, Pam Dawber and My Sister Sam's co-star Joel Brooks, David Naughton, and Jenny O'Hara filmed a public service announcement for the Center to Prevent Handgun Violence in her honor.
Mm-hmm.
As of 2024, Robert Bardo, now in his 50s, is serving his life sentence at the Avenal State Prison in Avenal, California. And that is the story of the murder of Rebecca Schaeffer.
Awesome. Thanks for putting two and two together there for me. Because for the life of me, I thought this was going on. This happened to her while they were filming My Sister Sam, and My Sister Sam got canceled because they couldn't go on.
Right. No, it was after. So,
it was like a lot after.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was canceled because it was just getting the low ratings and couldn't compete with Facts of Life. The initial incident started during while she was still filming it, or how the chain of events, not the incident, how the chain of events started was during My Sister Sam, but it was after that the actual murder happened. So thought that was interesting. She was auditioning for The Godfather Part 3. I thought that was interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, thanks for taking that journey with me. Like I said, I had never heard of it before. I remember the show My Sister Sam. I had just never heard of this event. I subscribed to many different true crime websites and whatnot, and this popped up in my email. I was like, wow, this is an interesting
Rebecca
story.
Schaeffer. Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks again. That'll take us to the end of another recording week. As always, you can find our information on nerderyandmurdery.com. That's our hub, our website, where you can find information on everything we talked about. Find links to the topics we cover, plus pictures relating to the topic that we covered as well. And you'll also find the link to our YouTube page, which Zig so often updates.
Yes, we have YouTube playlists for all of our stuff. All of this music is out there on YouTube. It is also out there on Spotify, a Spotify playlist as well. So yeah, you should go out and listen to it.
Yeah, definitely recommend that. You can also find the link to our merchandise page on our website. If you wish to show off your Nerdery and Murdery fandom, please do consider purchasing something from there. That, along with our Patreon, our patrons help with the costs that go on with the show. There are costs with keeping our website going, our domain, our uploads, everything like that. So please do consider either purchasing some merchandise or becoming a patron. It really helps us keep going with the show, and we do appreciate each and every one of you.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. And last but not least, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review wherever you can. It really helps us, helps others find our content that may be looking for the topics we cover. So with that,
I have been Zig with your nerdery.
And I'm Jeffrey with your murdering.
Cue the music.